Hi Anand. We've been seeing this tremendous sell-off happening in the market, not only in India, across the globe, especially in the US market. In the Indian context, I thought we would talk about the three main reasons why this is happening. What is driving our Indian markets to go down? Of course, you're right. If there's no support being held up by them, forced being held up in the market by LIC or whomever the institutions are in India, domestic institutions, which are trying to keep the market up, it will fall down further and more dramatically. But today's fall was also quite steep, I think. So there's something interesting to talk about. First thing which I'd like to talk about is global market sell-off, which they're saying. What are the effects of global market?
The Nasdaq got pummeled yesterday.
Yes,
It dropped 5%, something it's not happened for a very long time.
correct.
The Nasdaq went up to 16, 17,000. For a long time, the Nasdaq was at a level 8,000, 9,000, which it didn't break after the 2008,
Correct.
2000 crash. And it kept there for nearly 18 or 19 years. And then it just went past it. The 5% crack in Nasdaq was really harsh. From the year beginning, Nasdaq has fallen by about 23 to 25%, somewhere in that range. And this is a huge fall. That means it's in a grip of a bear market. The Dow has fallen 15%, and this is only the beginning.
So you would say some of the effects of today's fall was because the market sentiments across the globe where there seems to be falls happening.
Now, if you're asking me in India, the sentiments have been negative globally since October.
Okay.
From October, continuously FIIs have been falling.
Withdrawing, yes.
That is why you are seeing Axis Bank and HDFC Bank making new lows.
Correct.
And what has happened is they have sold billions of dollars.
Correct.
Now, there are many people who say that's not happened. That's totally idiotic because if you look at our forex reserves, after a high of $642 billion, it's gradually dropped to 599.9, or you can say 600. So $42 billion has been taken out of the country. Net foreign exchange has left the country. This clearly shows that the FIIs are selling and in no mood to stop selling. So any possibility of a rise, they will continue to sell. The fall in the Nasdaq accentuates it, and then it will have more. So there is more to come. That does not mean next Monday it may fall. There may be a bounce, but that's a dead cat bounce. It will be sold into.
Correct.
I expected it the day before, that is yesterday. The market opened up high and went up 250 points high.
Correct.
And from there it came to minus. Though
Correct.
the ending was +5, the last quote was actually -5.
Correct.
So it actually technically ended negative, though you average the last 15 minutes close up. And today from morning it has been bashed up.
Correct.
So it's hit 16,340.
Correct.
This is one of the lowest points of this year.
Correct.
There's been 1 or 2 days when it went to 15.8 intraday.
Correct.
So there is a possibility that we will crack that.
Correct.
Why do I say that? Because your peak was 18,600. Assume it's 18,000.
Okay.
A 20% correction is a bear market.
Correct.
So you should correct by 3,600.
Correct.
Or slightly more. So anyway, any bear market is 15,000. So you will get to, if Nasdaq is at 25% down, we are not no shining knight in armor. So you will get to 15,000.
Okay. So the reason they're saying this is happening is one of the reasons is central banks across the globe, even in the UK, all of them have started to tighten their rates. So what do you think this sudden increase of rates?
Because all these central banks thought that inflation does not exist. Right? And they have now realized that inflation does exist.
And the problems with inflation are very
real. Like in America, they had no business buying housing mortgages when housing prices were 20% over last year.
Correct.
The middle class could not buy houses, and still you are buying mortgage-based bonds and keeping bond rates low.
Correct.
Now mortgage rates have reached 5.27 in America. So the mortgage rates in America, according to Fannie Mae, is 5.27%. India was 6.5, must be 7 now. So Saktikanta Das, our Reserve Bank governor, was in denial that there is inflation. He said there is no inflation in India. Inflation will automatically fall below 5.
Yes.
There is nothing to worry.
Correct.
So he called an out of turn meeting and increased it by 0.4.
Correct.
Because had he not increased by 0.4, that the sell-off would have been even more deeper.
Correct.
because already the Fed has increased by 0.75, you are zero point 0.4. In June, they are going to do another 0.5. That's what he has said. So 1.25. Even if you do another 0.25 in June, you are 0.65 and they are at 1.25. So I'm expecting another 0.40 hike in by the Reserve Bank in June. So basically, you will expect another deep fall in the month of June. So any rally is going to be sold into big time. So
Very true.
any attempt at a rally is going to be sold into. So Monday morning, if it goes from 16,400 to 16,500, 600, no reason to celebrate. 2 days it goes to 18,000 also. People will again, the FIAs will say, thank you very much.
If we get more money out.
We are getting more money out.
Correct.
Because the Reserve Bank is doing two things wrong. One, they are facilitating by giving dollars by selling reserves. That means they are keeping the rupee up.
Correct.
So he is actually very happy.
Yes.
Since the rupee is flat, in dollar terms, he is making more money.
Correct.
And the other mistake is done by LIC, which has been constantly buying. In fact, LIC will lose much more money than the 20,000 crores it raised in selling equity. It will land up losing 1 lakh crore by the time this carnage is over.
True.
And this carnage is not going to end anytime soon. All asset classes are falling at the same time.
Correct.
You have bonds are getting butchered. That is what the 10-year yield was at 1.5. It's crossed 3. Gold is at a 2-month low. Bitcoin is at a nearly 1-year low. Last time it was at this rate was in July of last year. Gold is down, bond is down, stocks are down, crypto is down.
So where do investors take their money and go then?
Uncle Buffett had the answer: keep it in cash. Because cash is like oxygen. So cash is like oxygen. Oxygen, you don't see oxygen, you don't think it's required because you and I are breathing now.
Correct.
But take away oxygen for 10 minutes, I think we are dead.
Or even 5 minutes, yes, couple of minutes.
Okay. So for somebody like me, couple of minutes. For you, maybe slightly more. It's all same for everybody.
All same, yes.
Okay. In 2 minutes, you are dead. So it's like having an emergency oxygen cylinder. In case why you need it, suppose the market comes to 10,000. You should have some money to deploy in the meaningful money to deploy in the market.
Correct.
So you should keep cash as king.
And no one can predict how low the market will stay at that point.
See, markets can remain rational.
Correct.
Longer than you can remain solvent, as Keen said. Or the other thing is, the pendulum swings from one direction to another direction. So you had extreme overvaluation for a long time.
Yes.
So you cannot assume anybody who studied physics, the pendulum won't swing in this direction and stop here.
Correct.
It has to swing to the opposite direction. So when it swings to the opposite direction, it's going to be really painful. And at that time, remember 2008, and so we could get in and buy a lot.
Correct.
So if you keep your powders dry, or if you have enough cash,
correct.
That's why Buffett says, I have a lot of cash. So if you have a lot of cash, you can deploy it when the market goes down.
Correct. So these are the main reasons which we discussed, which has created this slump in the market. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
Yes, the Russian-Ukraine war is not going to end soon.
Correct.
And now the Russian oil facilities are unable to pump enough oil.
Correct.
So even if the war ends tomorrow, it's not going to.
And there's also news that Russia is right now confiscating a lot of the Ukrainian farm equipment also.
Yeah.
Dragging it all back. So even if Ukraine is back to being free, or whatever you want to call as normal is, getting the production back up and running is going to be next to impossible.
Yes. And then there's a problem in China also. The zero COVID China policy. So all this is going to add to inflationary pressures. I will not be surprised if the Fed is now at 0.75, increases at least 5 times 0.25, or at least one more 0.5 and another 4.25. So you are going to get a lot of interest
Series
rates.
of increases are coming.
So I won't be surprised if the US 10-year yield hits 4.5. If the US 10-year yield hits 4.5, it's now at 3. That's a 50% increase. That can mean a steep drop in the Nasdaq. And if the Nasdaq catches cold or Nasdaq sneezes, India will catch cold.
Well, you guys have heard it here from Anand. Anyway, let's continue this conversation next time.
Thank you for watching Biraj. And if you like this content, kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time we put out a video. If you like the content, kindly consider sharing with your friends and relatives. Once again, I thank you for the support to this channel. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support.